Hey, everybody, welcome to Crackpot, the podcast where each and every week we dive into a different conspiracy theory and we also discuss the merits or the demerits of each. We're your hosts. I'm Tim.
And I'm Zach.
I was trying to do like a sports woo! Background noise. Okay, cool.
I might add that later. I like that idea.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Check it out in post. What's up, man?
That's right. Dude, how are you doing?
I'm good.
And well, or just
and
good?
well, no, yes. Going through the mental, yes. Okay. Good okay. And well and good. I'm surviving. I'm thriving.
Yeah.
I'm here.
You're Sir Thriving.
Sir Thriving.
Don't ever use that.
You know me.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
me, man. How are you? What's up?
I'm doing both well and good, which is really fun and exciting for everybody.
Happy to hear it.
Yeah. And we are talking about something today that I got to be honest with you guys. Like, I love this as a genre, understanding many of our listeners, or at least some, may not be super in love with this genre.
I don't know. I think everyone loves these.
I like
everyone loves these.
And I want to say this much. Okay, so don't be turned off by the title in the sense that it's sports related, because the stuff that we're going to be talking about today,
sports.
Is that how I said it?
Sports. No.
Okay.
That's fine.
Sports. The stuff that we're talking about is sports related, but I will tell you the cool, creepy, weird stuff is non-sports related.
Yes.
So now you're going to get me to say sports is non-sports related, and that's the stuff I would say. If you're not totally into the MLB, the NFL, the NCAA, the NBA.
Oh, wow.
Or whatever else.
Wow. All right.
It doesn't matter because we're talking about some cool stuff anyways.
Yes. It's not just the stats and figures of the teams. You're saying that there's, science? Dare I say pseudoscience? Which is my favorite type of science.
I wish, man. This is like real science, which is even more confusing than the pseudoscience that we look into.
You're not wrong about that. But you're saying there's things behind it.
Absolutely.
Creepy, weird things, perhaps.
Maybe.
Paranormal things?
Yeah, there's ghosts behind all of these things.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking. I literally don't. I don't even know the teams. I have a pretty good idea of the teams.
Yeah. Yes.
But
okay.
I'm guessing there may be some Vikings brought in.
Indeed.
As there should be.
Yes.
With anything having to do with sports curses. If there weren't Vikings, you would have missed the whole thing wide right. Thank you.
Real quick, I actually had to search before I got on with Matthew when I was on that show recently talking about curses and such.
Yeah.
I had to look up, was it wide left or wide right?
Which one?
I couldn't remember in the moment.
Is it the kickers left or the kickers? Or
It's wide right, and that's from the perspective of the kicker.
Yeah.
So
there's a few. I mean, I don't need to tell you. There's a few.
This is unfortunate. Which, by the way, also makes this seem even more credible because, it's one thing to lose just by getting blown out.
Yes.
It's another thing to lose time and time again. By the same problem, which seems to transcend kickers, but we'll leave it at that for now.
May I just real quickly, I don't want to steal your thunder, step on your toes here, but it's like, the feeling I get when Aaron Rodgers has the ball with 2 minutes and 37 seconds in the fourth quarter and we're down by 6 is the same feeling I get when I see that the Vikings have two seconds left and they're lined up for a kick. It's like, I know the outcome. I know what's going to happen. I can turn the TV off and walk away knowing full well that So
every Vikings fan has that same experience, and I will say also when we see Aaron Rodgers with 2 minutes left, 45 seconds left, down by 6. They've got the ball starting at the 1 yard line. I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen. So
Hail Mary, they'll catch it. It's all good.
Totally, exactly, dude. So, anyways, today, what we are talking about is sports curses. Are they real? Are they fake? Who done it?
The ghosts done it. That's who.
Thank you. And I will say this show skews a little heavy to Vikings because I found some pretty credible, relevant examples of the sports curse.
Okay.
But I will say we're talking about other franchises here too. We're talking about some interesting stuff that I found online. But folks, I got to say, sports curses quick question. Do you believe them? Are they real?
Here's the thing with that. The logical part of my brain wants to say, no, that's silly and goofy. But then also, it seems like it exists because it keeps just perpetuating upon itself. And it's almost like the team, the players, the franchise, the fans all buy into it, and it just manifests itself into being real. And I can't back that up, but that's what it feels like. Like, what I'm trying to say, if I could summarize that, is no, but also yes, very much.
Dude, so this is really interesting because that, I believe, if you asked most like sports fans, do they think curses are real in sports? Immediately would dismiss it, be like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then it's like, wait a second. The Chicago Cubs didn't win for a really long time. The Red Sox didn't. My stupid franchise, the Vikings, have lost 4 Super Bowls and a bunch of playoff games. Like, I think most people, when they stand back and they think about it, they're like, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Something's not right. So to that end, today, folks, we are talking about sports curses, whether or not they are real, I should say, and how they came to be, perhaps, as well as some stories, some anecdotes, all that good stuff.
I love it. Lay it on me, man.
So
what do we got? Where are we starting?
So here's where I wanted to start, which is, I asked you the question, do you believe in curses? And I think you basically said yes 110%.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
We can back it up and check. But yeah.
If there's only some way. Anyways, let's scan over that for a sec. According to a 2009 Pew Research Center poll, a full 16% of Americans believe
1-6.
16.
Okay.
Yep. Believe that people can cast curses or spells that cause bad things to happen to someone.
Bad juju, like voodoo.
Yes.
and hexes.
Yes.
16%. That's more than I would have thought.
Okay, so this is where I'm coming from, which is it's not 2%. It's also not 75. It's just enough to kind of, leave you wondering.
Huh?
Yeah.
Who are those 16?
And this also got me thinking.
Are there that many witch doctors?
Well,
that are polled by the Pew Research and Gallup and
Quinnipiac. Almost went there for law school.
I never heard that story.
Anybody who was willing to accept my LSAT score and my GPA.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Anyways, okay, yeah. So, but what I found interesting about this too, I was thinking like, is it really 16% that believe in that, or like 16% that are comfortable saying they believe in it, in a poll? Because it could be the latter. It could be, okay, I don't really believe this, but I kind of believe it.
Yeah.
So,
I believe it, but I'm not really ready to tell a random stranger who called me.
1,000%, dude. That is exactly it.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
That to me was a little suspect. And but I also take the stance that I think if you ask most franchises, most fans of franchises, they will say categorically that their franchise is cursed. I believe it sincerely.
Yes.
Even okay. When is the last time the Packers won a Super Bowl?
Like 2011?
Yeah, 2011, right? Yeah. What have you been since? Basically garbage. You guys are cursed.
Cursed.
No, okay. Well, okay. You guys won the NFC North.
No, when we win the NFC North, we win the Super Bowl, except for 95, whatever. No, we lose the NFC Championship game.
Okay, yeah, so thank you. So can you draw that out a little bit? Do you feel like the moment's too big for the Packers? Or like what? How many have they've lost a bunch?
Like a dozen, honestly, it feels like. Do I think they're cursed? No. I mean, there was the tragic one, and I want to say like 14, 15 with the Seahawks, and we were up, and then it just... Third quarter rolled around and it just started collapsing. It's like, there's no way we can give up 42 points in half a game. Like, there's no way we can give up 35 points. It's just like on and on. Okay. Yes. Unfortunate, 100%. Suspect, perhaps. Curse? No. Okay. Curses don't happen in over a decade.
Okay. Well, where I was going with this was, I think that every sports fan of any franchise can find a reason to believe that their franchise is cursed. And so it's interesting that you say this about the Packers.
Yeah.
Because I was even thinking about like the Patriots, okay? Arguably the only team in any sport that shouldn't be complaining about anything.
True.
What happens?
Yeah.
Tom Brady goes to Tampa, and what happens? The entire region of New England starts weeping and crying, and it's like this whole sob fest, and it's like, guys, chill out. You've got like 20...
one player.
Yeah, dude.
One player.
How many rings do you have?
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly.
Share the love, folks. So I would make an argument that sure, perhaps only 15, 16% of Americans feel comfortable saying they believe in curses, but I wouldn't be surprised if the number's actually much higher.
Okay. Yeah, I buy that.
All right. So shifting gears slightly, understanding, hey, look, we've got, 15, 16% of the folks believing in curses. Okay, well, what are some universal curses over the years that we can all look to and say 100% agree with, believe in? Numero uno, the most obvious one, King Tut.
Oh.
Like, basically everybody who sees him dies within a year.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone who opened up the tomb died, I think, right away.
In a weird, freaky accident. Yeah.
Was there something to do with like a disease that was locked in there?
I doubt it.
Okay, no. It was
Probably
just a curse.
curse.
Okay, good. All right.
Dude, for real, 27 Club.
27 Club. I forgot about that.
Yeah, of course.
That's
famously,
a fun little episode. Famously from Crackpot Podcast. That's what it's famous from.
That was the before times. That was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that feels like a long time ago.
And it was. But it was, anyway.
Musicians and actors and actresses that die around the age, or at the age of 27.
Yeah,
tragically, usually. It's Cobain, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Amy Winehouse, a whole bunch. One that I found that was unusual in the way that King Tut is unusual, but feels more credible. Are you familiar with Ötzi?
No.
So Ötzi was this Bronze Age, 5,000-year-old man that was found perfectly preserved in the Swiss Alps.
Oh, yeah.
In a melting glacier.
Yeah. Okay.
It's actually, you should look at pictures. It's fascinating. The man had tattoos. They can still see the tattoos.
Yep.
He's wearing everything that he died.
I didn't know his name, but I'm familiar with the,
Great stuff. Yeah. The curse of Ötzi is real, folks. This is wild.
I didn't know.
So Rena Chen, a forensic pathologist who examined Ötzi, died in a car accident 1 year later. Kurt Fritz, the guide who led Hen to Ötzi's body, died in an avalanche shortly thereafter. Helmut Simon, who discovered the body, died from a fall while hiking in 2004. So not, 10, 15 years after. Small detail. Dieter Wernicke, who headed the rescue mission to look for Simon's body, died of a heart attack hours after Simon's funeral. So
wow.
Sounds like a curse to me.
Sounds like absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's just proof, folks, that curses are real.
Or, conversely, everyone who's ever been associated with the Clintons ends up dead.
Oh, man.
You forgot about that one.
Is that a curse, or is that just, quote-unquote, bad luck?
It's a lot of bad luck. All right, anyway.
That is really special that you brought that up. Okay.
It's not funny.
But then so I was thinking about this, you've got basically just the number of people that believe in this stuff. You do have some pretty weird historical anomalies that I just called out. And then I was kind of getting into it a little bit too, because I was thinking okay, when you're talking about curses, obviously there is some religious overtone to them.
Absolutely. Yep.
So then I thought, okay, well, are there what are religious stances on curses?
Pro.
Oh, very much so. And in fact, 1,000%.
Okay.
All right. So I looked into this. If you look, surprise, surprise, at the Old Testament, which of course is the foundation for several of the world's major religions, there are many overt references and actual just statements about curses. So look no further than Genesis 3:14, God cursing the serpent. God cursed the earth in Genesis 3:17. Cain, Genesis 4:11, not to mention Leviticus, Deuteronomy, those books are just riddled with curses. But here's what's actually kind of interesting too. So even though I think for a lot of people today, you look at the Old Testament and you say, well, it's just the Old Testament. It's a lot of old stuff. Turns out there's a sneaky backdoor way in to curses, a la thank you, Vatican, for posting this on your website. I'm dead serious.
Vatican. how to curse.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's so much out there in terms of religious texts and interpretations. But I got into this quite a bit because I was just fascinated by it. Okay, and so it turns out that turn back time, Halloween Spooktacular, one of these past years. Demonic possessions.
I loved it.
Yeah. One of the big takeaways for me, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything here, is that the Catholic Church has a number of very specific protocol, kind of regulations, what to do in terms of whether somebody is possessed. First of all, just determining, hey, look, this person's possessed. It's not some sort of mental health issue. And then also what to do in those situations. I bring this up because through this stance, this is the backdoor into saying the Catholic Church is totally okay, believes in curses. And here's what I found.
Totally okay?
Well, not okay with them, obviously, but like
okay,
believing in them, right? So
yes.
Here's what I found. According to the Catholic Church, for a person to become possessed, they can become possessed by making a pact with the devil or with demons. It's kind of one way. Participating in occult activities. That's another way.
Check. Okay. Yep.
Wait for it. Being the victim of a witchcraft spell or curse. Capital C.
No. Okay. What?
Yeah, dude.
So they're admitting
on the record
saying that because look, Old Testament stuff, that's all a deity cursing people and things and lands and whatever else.
Exactly.
It's all that way, you know?
Right.
Hand motion. But what you're saying now is the Vatican is on the record saying that curses can also go this way. Hand motion in other direction.
Yes. And in fact,
that's wild.
This is a backdoor.
I didn't ever think about it that way.
No, either did I until I read this and it was proof. And I was like, well, that's a backdoor way into curses. So, okay, let's break down where we've come from so far, which is a decent percentage of people believe that they're real. Okay. We've called out a few examples of real curses. And also, by the way, whether or not you're Catholic, that's okay. But let's acknowledge the fact that some, 20% of like the world that identifies as Catholic, that's real, by the way. I looked that up. It's about 20%. Basically just by default, believe in curses.
Yeah, right. Wow. There you have it.
So
there you have it. Episode's over. Thanks, guys.
Before we go too much further and talk about some pretty classic examples, Timothy Jerome, I want to ask, where are you at right now? What are you worried about in all of this, what we just talked about?
Well, I mean, this explains all the negative things that have been happening to me. Clearly, Joe Rogan has put a curse on me specifically. I don't know about the podcast in general, but it explains me stubbing my toe and dropping my bowl of soup yesterday.
All that stuff that you did.
Stuff, yeah,
exactly.
No, it sounds real. I don't know how you go about Are you going to give us a step-by-step instruction?
I can't.
No? Okay.
Because then I would curse you by accident.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I could double curse you back, or
I don't think that's how it works. Hold on, let me check. All right, so let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk about some pretty famous, pretty notable curses from over the years. But let's start with one of my favorites here, which is, of course, the curse of Billy the Goat.
Thank you. Yes.
The curse of Billy the Goat.
I got nothing. Keep going.
Okay, so are you familiar with this at all?
I am familiar in the sense that there is a goat and the Cubs didn't win for a long time. I do not know any of the details.
That's the gist of it, but here's the details, and this is actually really cool. So I love this one. This is maybe to me one of my favorites. So this started back in 1945 when William Cianis, the Billy Goat Tavern owner, placed a curse on the Chicago Cubs. Man. And this was during Game 4 of the 1945 World Series at Wrigley Field. So Cianis' pet goat named Murphy was bothering some fans, and so they were asked to leave the stadium. So both the owner, Cianis, and the goat.
Sorry, the goat got into the World Series.
Excuse me, sir?
Did he buy a ticket for the goat? Okay, sorry. I love it.
So many questions, right? I know. So as they were being escorted out of the stadium, what does Cianis say? He says, "Them Cubs, they ain't gonna win no more." And guess what, Tim?
They didn't win until 2016?
Yes, good memory.
Yeah.
So the curse lasted 71 years.
Was he a Cubs fan?
He was.
What? Why did he curse his own team?
Dude, if you were there with your goat.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I stand corrected. You're exactly right. Yes.
Here's what I love about this, too. Okay, so, kind of weird to begin with. And then, so the Cubs didn't play in the World Series for 71 years. But, get this, it was on the 46th anniversary of Cianis' death that the curse was actually broken when they defeated the Dodgers 5-0 in Game 6 of the 2016 National League Championship Series to win the pennant and then ultimately go on and continue winning. 46 years to the date of Cianis' death.
It's kind of weird.
It would be more weird if it was 1 year later.
Yeah, right.
But 46, that's not a coincidence, dude.
It's weird. Nope. Can't make that stuff up.
No, clearly not. It's real. So that one I found to be particularly wild. And I think, Tim, you've revealed yourself to be a Brewers fan.
I like the Brewers.
Okay. So being all cozy in the National League, I suppose you're okay with.
Well, we used to be AL, but now we're NL. Yeah, exactly.
How many years ago was that, by the way?
Oh, God. I don't even know.
It was before my
30?
lifetime. No.
No, yeah.
You guys weren't the AL when I was a kid.
No, we used to have the 94 I-94 series. Yeah, we were in the same division with the Astros.
Wait, American League?
Yes.
The Brewers?
Yes.
Not when I was a kid, dude.
Yes, it was.
Okay. I
Look it up. Real-time Googling right now happening. I would say maybe 86, 87.
Well, okay. I mean, yeah, before living memory.
I love how you start walking this back. Okay, maybe my lifetime, but not what I remember. Yeah, what year? 91?
Dude, this doesn't make any sense.
94?
97.
Oh, 97. There you go. Okay. Well, I was off, but you're still wrong.
I feel like this is a Mandela effect situation because I remember as a kid the Brewers being in the National League.
No, you don't.
I do. Because my best
friend. This is a real life.
This is existential crisis.
Yeah.
My best friend growing up was from the Green Bay area, unfortunately, so he's a huge Wisconsin homer, right?
Yeah.
And I was always like, okay, cool. We don't have to fight about the Brewers and the Twins because they never play each other because there's no. Well, especially when I was a kid, there wasn't any interleague play before like 95,
something,
around there.
Bud Selig era, yeah.
Right. So yeah. Anyways.
Well, there you have it.
Dude, if anybody else remembers this, please back me up because I am having a legit, I'm not making this up, Mandela effect situation right now.
It was Twins, Brewers, Astros. I want to say maybe the Tigers. I could be wrong about that.
How have I?
Sox? White Sox? I don't know. Okay.
White
it doesn't
Sox,
matter.
for sure. Okay. All right.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yes, I do enjoy the Brewers. Baseball team.
All right. So anyways, I was going to ask you about that, but I've just completely gone off the rails here. So Tim, before we go too much further here with some of these examples, I got to ask you, Billy the Goat curse for the Chicago Cubs. Real, not real?
Kind of real.
It was kind of real. I know. Yeah. I know. From Billy the Goat and Cianis?
Yeah.
You have to accept them both, don't you?
Kind of. Basically, right?
I'm 100% with you in that point.
I don't want to, but yeah, totally.
And perhaps, okay, so let's shift gears slightly because, we're probably not going to come down to the answer on that one specifically. But some other football examples here, quick, easy one here that everybody can relate to, especially me. The Madden video game curse.
No, I've heard about this. Being one who doesn't play Madden, break it down for me.
I don't either. But what it is, so Madden, super popular football video game. Yeah. It's been around since 95 or something. And they always pick the best player from the previous year to be on the cover.
They don't. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of anyways, it's almost like it's like a popularity contest. But every one of these players that have been on the cover, well, not every one of them, but most of them, the next year were just absolute garbage.
Oh my God, I just had a light bulb moment.
You're right. I know which one you're thinking of. So let's I'll just save it.
I didn't even think about that till now.
Seriously, dude. Okay, here we go. Michael Vick.
I want to talk about it now. Okay.
We'll get there. Michael Vick, Madden 2004.
Yeah.
Okay. The next year, I think it was actually the dog fighting stuff.
Ugh.
Everything else. And
Ron Mexico.
Ugh. Yeah. Donovan McNabb, who was basically just garbage from like that point on.
Whatever happened to him?
The Vikings cut him. That's how bad he was. He actually, this is a true story. Allegedly. Okay, we're good now.
He was on a boat.
He like his last year, his victory lap was playing for the Vikings long after he was washed up. And the Vikings were like, yeah, you can compete for the job. So like famously, he didn't work out all summer, and then he showed up just completely overweight. Started like making the rounds on social media and stuff, saying, "I'm going to be at Burger King later or whatever, so I can't wait for me and all my friends to eat for free." Like trying to like, it was bad. It was. I'll leave it at that.
Not cool, dude. Not
cool. Okay. Sean Alexander, whom I've never heard of, which is 2007 Madden. Vince Young. Pretty classic example. Can you guess who's 2009, Timothy?
2009.
I think this is who you wanted to mention earlier.
Oh, no. I'm thinking like right now, but no. Who's 2009?
Well, that one too. Good point. Brett Favre.
Oh.
That got weird for all sorts of reasons.
That got weird.
That curse was real.
Yeah. Speaking of washed up players going to the Vikings, how many of those we got?
No kidding. This is like the whole list. Troy Polamalu, which I didn't realize. I mean, like he was legendary for so many years. I suppose that's just math. Peyton Hillis, he was basically garbage. And who were you thinking of?
Patrick Mahomes.
Guys, listen to Patrick, dude. What's going on?
Patrick, buddy.
Junior. Patrick Sr. played for the Twins, his dad, and was a phenomenal pitcher.
Yep.
And I modeled my windup after him. So there's some family connection here.
You guys got a lot to talk about.
We're basically best friends is what I'm trying to say. But yeah.
But he was on the cover last year, also with listener Tom. But wasn't it the two of them?
I don't even know, actually.
Okay, well, anyway.
That would make sense, right?
Well,
but Tom's playing out of his mind.
Tom's playing the best football of his life right now. So I don't know what's going on.
Avoid your nightshade vegetables, everybody. That's the takeaway there. All right. So let's get back into some sports franchise.
Yes.
Curses that are pretty famous. So that was a little sidestep there. The Cardinals. Like what is now the Arizona
MLB or NFL?
NFL.
Okay.
The Arizona Cardinals. So they actually hold the record for the longest championship drought with their most recent championship game. Get this, back in 1947. Tim, you were only 1 year old at the time.
And 2.5, but yeah.
Isn't that crazy though? Yeah. So 1947. So if you think the Vikings and even the Lions are poor schmucks, the Cardinals actually somehow have it worse.
Wow. Could this be the year of the Cardinals?
This would be it. Actually, this would be really fascinating because they're playing out of their minds for anybody who's not paying attention. So here's what happened. So if you remember old-timey football, like old-timey football.
Leather helmets and all running plays.
It was like the Duluth Eskimos, like all the Green Bay Packers, right?
Legitimately, yes.
Anyways, it was at one point in time the Pottsville, Pennsylvania Cardinals.
Is that so?
It was.
Huh.
And that was the last time the Cardinals appeared in a championship. And so what happened was, as the Pottsville, I guess, like the Maroons, the Cardinals, changed over to, I don't think they went to Arizona right away. I think they went to somewhere in Ohio first. But it doesn't matter. It turns out the good people of Pottsville, and I believe the mayor as well, actually cursed the Cardinals and said...
For leaving?
Yeah. And they will not win a championship until the Cardinals are returned to Pottsville.
What? Where is Pottsville?
Pennsylvania, baby.
Well, yeah, it's a big state. I don't know where it is.
I think it's western Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So, given the fact that Pottsville has like 7 people, I don't think it's ever going to go back there.
Oh, my God.
And with Kyler Murray this year, the quarterback for the Cardinals, playing out of his mind, if it ever gets broken, it would be this year, I have to assume.
Yeah. On some like East Coast trip, to play the Giants or the Jets or something, they just need to make a quick layover in Pottsville and then keep going. I think that'll break the curse, man.
I think so too. Well, should we move forward to the next sports franchise curse?
Yes, let's do it.
Sorry, I'm laughing because who's the only team that's somehow more miserable than the beloved Minnesota Vikings and perhaps the Chicago Bears?
The Lions?
Yes, sir.
Didn't take a lot of, yeah,
You could ask anybody on the street, they will tell you that. So, all right. This one's actually really weird, too. So the Lions are the second longest franchise without any sort of championship, okay? They are so bad.
You know, yeah. They're actually trying this year. Like they're bad. Don't get me wrong, but they're like really trying hard.
They're putting up a fight. Like it's actually pretty good. And I should have talked to listener Steve from the live show. Steve, thanks for coming out. I'm assuming, given he's from Detroit, he's a Lions fan.
He's got season tickets.
Should have got. He's got a box.
Earlier.
Sorry,
yeah.
Steve. Keep hanging in there next year, baby. No, but this one's actually really interesting because it does have some of those weird coincidences built into it. So, back in 1958, the Detroit Lions traded Bobby Lane to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was not happy about this, which is funny because I think you would assume getting traded from the Lions to somewhere else is good. Anyways. When Lane learned about the trade, he responded by saying that the Lions would not, and I quote, win for 50 years.
Oh, wow.
So he personally cursed the franchise. So for the next 50 years after the trade, the Lions obviously didn't go to the Super Bowl, and they've acquired the worst winning percentage of any team in the NFL.
God.
And the Lions, of course, like the Cardinals, now are one of two teams that have not been to a championship, and so at least that have been around since the original merger, right? So, but the Lions' postseason record is 1-10. So in other words, they've won one game.
I'm honestly surprised they won a game. When was that?
1991.
Really? Barry Sanders, baby.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? But here's where it gets even funnier. So it turns out that who wins their fifth Super Bowl appearance, but none other than the Pittsburgh Steelers at Ford Field in Detroit.
Oh, man.
So, I don't know, Timothy Jerome, Bobby Lane, the curse of living on?
Seems legit to me.
Turns out, so if you're going to believe, the whole 50-year thing, the last year that it would have been under effect, the Lions went 0-16, and that was the first time that any team lost all 16 games in a season.
That was brutal.
So all I'm saying is this is real. The next one that's actually very real, and this one also gets a little creepy, a little bit spooky, is the Saints. The New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
Which I didn't realize was a thing either. Because you're looking at me like, I don't know. Yeah. So evidently, allegedly, the Superdome, it was built on some cursed ground. And I guess it has something to do with a nearby cemetery.
None of that surprises me.
Right. I guess, we should ask Baloney if this is true. Proof for this curse comes in the fact that for the first 12 years of the Saints' existence, they never went to the playoffs. They did not win a playoff game until 33 years after or into their existence. And this is because before the 2000 wild card playoff game against the Rams in New Orleans, get this, the Saints, the professional organization, hired a voodoo priestess by the name of Ava K. Jones to perform a ritual on the field to cleanse the stadium and the land and remove the spirits, dude. This is, I'm not making this up, a team that's worth, what, $1 bajillion hired a voodoo priestess?
Who, Dad? Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. And here's what's really great. Can you guess who went on to win the game that same day, their first ever playoff win?
Drew Brees, baby.
You know it.
Yeah.
The Saints won after the curse was broken.
Oh, wow. None of that actually surprises me. The more I think about it, it's like, yeah, probably cursed, cemetery ground. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, they probably hired a voodoo witch doctor to, that checks out.
Dude, exactly. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay. And
buckle up.
It turns out there is actually allegedly a curse on the Vikings, and this is real.
Okay.
And by the way, I had never heard of this, and Matthew hadn't either.
I didn't know there was a curse, so I am in the same boat. I just assume they perennially get awful kickers.
Yeah, they get awfuler kickers every year somehow.
Every year.
More and more awfuler. Okay. So this is the curse that I found, and I'd never heard of it, and the quick sample of Vikings fans that I pulled had never heard of it either, but it is the most Vikings curse of all time. It actually, I believe it because it actually checks out. So this is the curse of Ed Thorpe. So Ed Thorpe, you don't know the name obviously, but evidently he was a well-revered, well-loved referee in the NFL in the old-timey days.
Sure.
And when it was like the NFL as just what is now the NFC.
Yep.
And like the AFL as just the AFC. Like these old-timey days, like the championship trophy for the NFL was the Thorpe Trophy.
Oh, cool.
Okay. And so the Vikings had actually won it. It was one of the last time. It was the last time that it was played as the Thorpe Trophy. And was later renamed, of course, the Lombardi Trophy.
The who trophy?
It's I think
I've
he coached for the Bears.
I've heard of that name.
Yeah. For the Bears. What was the last year? He did he did the same thing that everybody does, like coach for a few different teams. You're like, wait, he coached the 49ers, whatever it is.
Or something?
Yeah, just goofy. You're like, what? Okay, anyways. Okay, so it turns out that the Vikings had actually won the trophy, and they were in a position to, it was kind of like a traveling trophy, right? So everyone partakes in this activity. The Vikings lost the trophy. I'm not making this up. They evidently left it at a gas station. 1,000% serious.
I believe it. Like, there's no making that up.
No,
I believe that.
I know. And what the thought here is, of course, poor old Ed Thorpe rolling around in his grave, cursing the days the Vikings came to be, and also condemning for eternity any shot they have at a championship.
Oh, my God. They'll never win. They will never, ever win. You back the worst franchise in the entire NFL.
Let's break this down, folks. 4 Super Bowl appearances and losses.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a ton. Tied with the Bills, I believe. I think the Bills also.
Bills have at least 4.
At least 4, if not 5. Yep. The Herschel Walker trade, which actually for folks that didn't pay attention or remember, like that teed up actually the Dallas Cowboys' dominance of the early 90s. Like that trade was such a stupid business decision by the Vikings that it actually disrupted the entire wave and just messed everybody up. But of course, the Cowboys went on to benefit, and now they are America's team.
Which they're also the most hated team in the NFL. But yeah, America's team, sure, cool.
Gary Anderson's missed kick, the NFC Championship. Finally, we're making it. Gary Anderson hits every field goal for 2 years and misses the one in the big game in the final moments to seal the deal. Yep. Troy Williamson, like the worst receiver of all time, first round, like the 6th pick or something in 95 or 2005 is when the Vikings picked him up. He was absolute garbage. Favre's famous interception. We've got AP's
Don't blame this on Favre and his interceptions. You knew exactly what you were getting when you got Favre. The man throws 2 times as many interceptions as he does touchdowns.
Guilty. Yeah, but he played it so, like, it was so fun to watch. Okay, anyways.
He was like a kid out there. He's a gunslinger.
Adrian Peterson. Ooh, everything there, plus his knee blowing out. Yeah, more specifically than he in that case. Teddy Bridgewater, his knee blows out.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. And then, of course, now this year we've got, of course, the wide right, which was...
How many missed field goals in clutch moments are on that list?
Well, okay, so this is what's interesting. So I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Matthew, when I was talking to Matthew Collier, he goes, I had a St. Thomas professor look into this, and the Vikings have actually, if you do a statistical breakdown, have missed more kicks in clutch moments than any franchise, and it's not even close.
That is brutal.
That is, to me, exactly right. It's like, it's not just, at this point, it's worse than chance.
Yeah. It is. It should be, 50-50 would be, I don't know. I can't talk about that, but it's awful. It's just so embarrassing and so predictable at this point.
Exactly. And it's real. So that's not cool.
Or is it?
Well, right.
Or is it?
Well, it kind of makes you think about how all of this works. And so I did a little bit of looking into the science of curses and superstition and all that stuff, because I think it's all 100% related as far as I'm concerned. It's all superstitions, okay? All right, so let's talk about the science here. So let's talk about luck, first of all, right? The belief in luck. Tim, do you believe in luck?
No, but
Good luck,
also,
bad luck?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I do.
It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? Or similar to curses where it's like, no, yeah, wait, maybe do I? I think I kind of do.
Right.
Well, it turns out that the vast majority of Americans do not believe in luck, but I think if you were to really sit down and talk to them, they might say something similar to what you just said. And it turns out of all the different things that are considered lucky, about a third of Americans believe that finding money on the ground is a sign of good luck.
Yeah, okay.
Makes sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Another one, of course, is the second most believed superstition is seeing the groom before a wedding is bad luck.
Oh, yeah.
A quarter of Americans believe that, which I love.
Huh.
Only about 7% of Americans believe that stepping on a crack is bad luck.
Nah, that's nothing.
Right.
The ladder, the black cat, four-leaf clover.
Some of that stuff, right?
Yeah,
exactly. But here is where things get actually significantly more interesting, if you're going to ask me. So what I read about was a study that took place around people and good luck charms. And so scientists in about 2009 conducted this study where they had a random group of students and they gave half a golf ball and they said, this is a lucky golf ball.
Oh, yeah.
They gave the other half a golf ball and said, here's your golf ball. Go putt this into a hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what they found was, to no surprise, the people that had the golf ball, the lucky golf ball, were statistically significantly more successful than the folks who did not.
Exactly. It's the power of the brain, man.
It's the power of the brain.
It's so bizarre.
And so what this gets me thinking about is not only, well, it's just interesting, right? It's this belief. It's this confidence that people have when they're talking about superstition, right? Mm-hmm. It's a lucky golf ball. These are my lucky, field goal shoes or underwear. Yeah. This is what I wear before every interview.
That's exactly it. But it sets you up in a certain frame of mind, and it's repetition, and it's just the familiarity of the whole thing. And it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. So, yeah, I kind of do believe in luck.
Right? And I think like most people have, even if they don't believe that finding money is per se good luck or a sign of good luck, I think a lot of people have just little talismans, little tokens, whatever the case may be, where they're just like, yeah, it's kind of my good luck pen, right?
Right.
So to bring this one full circle then, in terms of whether or not sports curses are real, like it's one thing to sit around and joke about and like, okay, probably... is Ed Thorpe really cursing the Vikings franchise? Probably not.
We can hope so.
But the idea that a coach like Mike Zimmer, who looks back and looks at the numbers and says, we haven't fared well from a kicking standpoint, could that belief almost in a curse or almost in bad luck play into everyday decision-making? And I got to say, I think the answer is yes.
Yeah. I think it does.
And I think de facto, therefore, you have sports curses and or curses just being real.
Yeah. I mean, they walk around that, the training facilities knowing, how many kickers have missed and what happens to them after those games. And it just permeates their psyche. I 100% believe that.
Yeah. Or even, I think you're exactly right. Or even the kicker that lines up, understanding it's the big moment.
Yeah.
And then maybe something in the back of his head is kind of like messing with him. So let's come all the way back around. Timothy Jerome, do you believe in sports curses?
100%. 100% I do.
Just 100%?
Well, it could be close to 110.
There we go. Thank you.
You?
110, baby. You know it.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sports Corner episode. That was great. Love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Me too.
It's always good to talk about the NFL and other sports, even if they aren't quite as good as the NFL.
Hey, real quick, folks, we're going to go upstairs and jump on the Illuminati Patreon meetup. So I was going to say, if you made it this far in the show and you're not a patron, or if you're interested in kind of what benefits we have over there, check us out, patreon.com/crackpotpodcast.
Absolutely. Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
So also, if you can, rate, review, subscribe, and tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your local witch doctor about our podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.